Hello there, Sister Wives watchers and chick chatters. I am here solo today. Brooke is on her honeymoon, so that's how she's going to be starting the new year. And I figured, you know what? I don't think we should skip this episode. I'm just going to do this by myself, so it's probably going to be quite a bit shorter because I don't have her to go back and forth with. But, here we are. So I couldn't resist. Let's get into it. All right. So the episode starts off with Meri and her friends gathering at her house to destroy a street sign that Meri bought her mom. And it's actually a really cute idea. Meri got her mom a street sign gift that had each street as one of her kids and their counterpart and how far they lived from the mom. And I thought that was a precious gift. But yeah, I mean, Kody's on that. And I guess it's a gift from not that long ago because it has the Flagstaff mileage on it. So they decide to break this thing. Everybody takes a turn bending it until it finally snaps in half, conveniently over Kody's name. And then we go over to Robyn, and she's taking her little sobbins to church to ask some questions. It's interdenominational church, according to them. There's two pastors, it seems, and they're sitting with the three ladies there. They're, I guess, church shopping. So I guess this is what we see for church shopping. It's funny that she says they went church shopping, but we really only saw her go to this one church. And I assume this is the same church that she then goes to later. So I don't know how much shopping there was, unless there was other things done off camera. I don't know. But anyways, they're talking with these people. She says that she's in a plural family. They don't really seem to bat an eye at that at all. They said they accept all people, even atheists. And I'm like, atheists? You mean like maybe previous atheists? Because like, I don't, maybe someone might educate me on this, but I didn't think an atheist would go to a church, but whatever. All right. So we go over to Meri and her friends again, and they just talking about divorce. I mean, we have been going over Meri's divorce and everything she's been through for the last few episodes. Meri really took a long time to process this whole thing. As Brooke says, Kody's crying really messed with her mind because she is still processing all this. They're talking about how divorce is kind of like a death, and her friends are saying, and Meri is kind of agreeing with in her confessional, that Kody might have used legal divorce as an easy transition to just be with Robyn. I'm glad that they're bringing light to that. I'm glad her friends are very honest with her because she's like, oh, you think? And they're like, yeah, we were worried when you did the legal divorce. And I think we were all thinking the same thing. I had a feeling once I saw that scene happen in real time back in 2014 or whatever, Meri was signing over both marriages. And I felt like maybe that's why deep down Meri was so emotional about it, even though they keep wanting to knock off this marriage license as a paper shuffle or whatever. Sure, I guess. But I also see the validity in what Mary's trying to say, how much letting go of that affected her, because it kind of is more than that. And afterwards, their marriage apparently just tumbled down the drain, and makes sense with the timing of everything. She said that 6 months after Kody and her had the legal divorce is when he stopped staying at her house at all. That's crazy. So that kind of makes me like, why'd you put his name on the street sign then? Because he wasn't living with you then long before he went to Flagstaff. But she really had high hopes. She really did. Meri describes what she went through with the legal divorce, how conflicting her feelings were, how she would be telling herself it's nothing, but then she'd be feeling all these emotions. I think maybe that's a lot of Mary's issue, is that she wouldn't let herself before actually feel things because of what, I guess, her religion or her sector or whatever was telling her to do. I mean, it's just sad. It's sad to hear that she was so conflicted about doing something that most people, I mean, I'm a monogamous, so I can't truly understand, but most people really wouldn't, because, when you decide to get divorced, you decide to get divorced completely. You don't get divorced legally and then just like stay married. It's not like a common situation. Another interesting thing about this marriage falling apart in 6 months is that Kody was really nice to her the first month of it. So she thought like, okay, this was the right thing to do, which makes me like, Kody and Robyn, I don't know if they did have a plan, but it seems very interesting. He says things like, after the divorce, I took her to dinner and we smushed, for lack of better words. They were intimate. They made love, whatever. I feel like he might have been love bombing her a little bit afterwards to convince her that this was the right choice. But like she said, you can only fake it for so long. As Kody would like to say, he can act, he can keep up the act, but he didn't keep up the act for longer than a month, it seems. But I believe her. I believe that he was probably going over there for like a month and then he just slowly started tapering off. Where Kody actually was during this Vegas time and everything seems to keep popping up in these episodes, not directly, but indirectly. They show a flashback scene of Kody leaving one of the houses, and it's Christine's house. And she says in that flashback how Kody hasn't been around for the last 6 days, according to Aspen. Like, she's kind of complaining about it. So he has 4 wives, but why would he be gone for that many days? Couldn't he just flop over every other day or something at that point once they were closer together? Maybe somebody else can help you with that. Maybe they were in the rentals and he was doing more days together, but 6 days seems like a long time to go between houses. It's just, all right. Yeah, I could see where this was falling apart. So Kody says they hooked up after this divorce dinner. They went on a date, which we did see them go on a little date. It seems like they walked to some place to eat, but it was funny because they walked past this little heart-shaped Cupid's place. I think it was even a place to go get married. So I was like, oh man, poor Meri.
When they walk over to the car to go on their date, they walk past a wedding chapel. It's just so ironic.
Wow, man, it's gotta be another knife to the kidney.
A knife to the kidneys. Knife to the kidney.
They're taking a machete to these kidneys, I swear.
The sacrifices Meri has made to love Kody.
He insinuates that they probably hooked up. He doesn't say that they did for sure. He just says, you know, we probably hooked up for all I know. And it's like, you don't even know. You can't say that. You don't even seem to know for sure. And Meri takes offense to that. I love these ping-pongy confessionals in a way. Like, sometimes I get annoyed by it, but sometimes I'm just like, this is great. It's like they're directly question and answering. I love how TLC is doing this sometimes because Meri is directly responding to this as she says that it's disrespectful for Kody to talk about hooking up with her because he wouldn't talk about hooking up with Robyn or talk about this in front of Robyn, and basically that it's disrespectful to Robyn. And I do agree with her, but I did have to chuckle a little bit because I mean, she's right. Kody was saying in a different episode how being intimate is sacred to him and Robyn's little sacred covenants. Christine says that Robyn started dropping hints at the very beginning of her being with the family that she knows many families where the first wife would divorce and then he would marry the second wife to adopt her kids or something. I do think that's a weird statement to make, especially because I remember Kody saying either in the book or in an earlier season that divorced women really weren't favorable to a polygamist usually. Like, they usually liked, for lack of better words, like them fresh out the oven or something. Because I remember him saying that he was put off at first because she was divorced and she had kids, because he knew that was going to be more of a challenge having to raise someone else's kids. So I didn't think that that was, wow, that's interesting, but I really wouldn't put it past Robyn to be putting that on people's ears. So this way, Kody could one day adopt her kids. I think she did really want Kody to adopt her kids. I don't know. Christine is alleging, and then Robyn directly responds with saying, "Nuh-uh." No, I didn't. There's this misconception. And it's like, girl, they just showed you a clip of Christine saying it. Just respond. That's how she always responds. Like, yeah, I hear of these misconceptions about me. And it's like, you guys are the confessional right now. Confessional versus confessional. That's what's happening here. Somewhere this season, Christine got a title change and she's gone from an ex-wife to an ex-polygamist. I think the other ones all say ex-wife. I believe Janelle and Meri are both titled ex-wife, and Robyn is titled fourth wife, I believe, or wife now. Should be last one standing, as we've said before. Christine is now titled ex-polygamist. I don't know if she's been titled this the whole season, and I'm just figuring this out. I'm just noticing it now in episode 15. I think David is titled Christine's fiance. Interesting, right? Per Christine's words, she called Robyn a plant. Like, that she was, planting that information in there. So this way, when it happens, no one's going to be surprised by it. And she's like, I think Meri did really think it was her idea. And I have said that. Actually, when we did our deep dive on the divorce situation, which I will link in this little top corner here. I think that it's kind of been said throughout the years. It'd be cool if Kody could adopt the kids, maybe bringing up things about Preston that are unfavorable, that the wives hear, that they're like, oh man, maybe they shouldn't be going to see their dad. Maybe Kody should be adopting the kids, what have you. I don't know. It's all alleged. I wasn't there, but my alleged opinion, it just kind of built up over time to where Meri did think it was her idea. She said her and Kody have been having the conversation for years, pretty much since Robyn came in the family. And I'm like, that seems really odd Since she came in the family, you were talking about giving up your legal marriage so you can adopt her kids? It just sounds unfathomable to me. But sure, Dan. I just feel like it's something that she did think about for a few years, but I don't think she thought about it since Robyn came in the family. I mean, Meri has felt secure in her marriage with Kody, I think, for as long as she did, as much as she did, because of the legal marriage. Because he couldn't just go, he had to kind of try to work things out with her. And before they did all try to be a team, regardless of whether or not they got along all the time, I think at the end of the day, for their kids' sake, I think they did at least put on as a team. But without the kids being there anymore, with them all being older and the need for them to be in survival mode all the time, like we were talking about in one of our last episode recaps, the fact that they were always in survival mode kept them happy, kept them content with their situation. And once they weren't in that anymore, they started realizing how unhappy they were. And with Meri, it started much earlier because she only had Leon. So with Leon being out of the house and gone, and everything for as long as Leon has been gone, which is a long time since they were a teenager, at least going to college. They definitely have not moved back in with Meri, as far as I've heard, maybe for a short amount of time, but not long term. In fact, I remember a season where Leon and Audrey moved into the house in Parowan with the grandmother. So they didn't want to live with Meri. They weren't trying to live with Meri. She's had an empty nest for a really long time. It's been just her. Meri was putting off the divorce, the legal one, because she wanted them to be in a better place. They talked about this divorce for years, the legal one, but Meri's the one that finally did it, which we all know that. We remember when she was running off meeting lawyers, like, teasing like a divorce situation, but then letting us know that it wasn't a real divorce. It was just a paper one. It's not a real one. Don't get extra excited like I'm really going to leave this man and show you guys that I got some dignity. Nope, you got to wait another 10 seasons for that. Yeah, she was putting it off because she wanted them to be in a better place. But what great of a place can you be when you decide to get a legal divorce? Like, we're so happy. Let's just get a legal divorce. Like, that's just, it's going to put a damper on things no matter what. So, whatever, Meri. So, Janelle says that she was shocked by the legal divorce and that she saw favoritism from Robyn. So, she was a little bit nervous about it happening. And I do remember when we rewatched that episode for the divorce special that we did on Sister Wives, the divorce deep dive, that Janelle was nervous. She was asking questions like, what does this mean for us? And they promised them everything will be the exact same, everything will be split up the same. And as we see, not everything has been the same. Things have definitely not been the same. When Robyn got the legal marriage, I think other members of the family did become a little bit more jealous of her situation, whether or not she was getting more time or not. If she was already getting more time and now she's legally married to him, it seems like he only wants to be at his wife's house, his legit wife's house. You know, he seemed to have left his divorced but not spiritually divorced wife off in the dust. If I was Christine or Janelle, I would be a little bit side-eyeing Robyn. Cody said that Meri's attitude changed after the divorce because she wasn't exposing herself to him anymore. And I kind of chuckled because, I don't know, it's just like natural for me to cover up when somebody walks in. Then in the same sense, I'm like, well, you've already seen everything, so what's there to not say? But I could see either way. I'm going to play the fence on that one. But Meri was not having it. She was like, why would I expose myself to you if we're not even in a real functioning marriage anymore? Facts, girl, facts. Especially if you're seeing other women. It's one thing, I think, when you're monogamous, you know, like, what's the point? He sees me this way all the time, whatever. But for Meri, he's seeing other women. So why does he need to see me? I'm already mad at him and I'm already not really talking to him. He already doesn't really come over but to hang up a picture frame or something. And as well cover up when he comes in. It's like when the handyman comes in. Won't you cover up if the handyman was coming in or the repairman man? So anyways, back to Robyn and the mini sobbins. They are telling their new church that they're not into being polygamist, even though they just told them that they were polygamist. But they said that Kody is not polygamist anymore and he's not planning on taking on any more wives. So she doesn't really know where she's at. They ask about the experiences in their church, and Robyn says that she's in a weird spot because she had a good experience, but everything just went to crap. But at the same time, she like believes in things. She just don't know what to do with herself. I feel like when things fall apart, it is easy to question who you are, what you believe in, what should you do now, what do you fall under. Her and Kody really aren't active in their church anymore, especially being monogamous. Kody lost his wives mean, Meri went to that church, got a divorce, so I don't think that church really is going to be welcoming them back with open arms. But she's struggling with switching churches because of the hold that this church has had on her life. It has apparently decided who she can date and all this stuff. And it's like, it's just my opinion. I do go to church, but I don't think church should really be something that totally tells you what to do. I think it should be something that gives you guidelines and motivates you to be a good person and gives you the right tools. Go through your life making decisions between right and wrong, things like that. I think that that's important whether or not you're religious or not. I don't think it should be getting that personal with you, with who you should date, who you should marry. My own parents never did that. Why would my church? Yeah, I think when it gets down to that, it's a little bit too close for comfort for me to be a church. So now Robyn is just struggling with her identity, I guess. But I will just say this episode was just so much talking in circles, talking about these situations like Robyn in the church and polygamy and marriage, and then how polygamy doesn't celebrate marriage. It's just such a turnaround all the time, just going in circles and circles, talking about the past versus the present versus the future versus the now. And it's just like, whoa, you guys do this every episode. We have to get so damn deep, going in circles and circles and circles, and then it's pretty much usually saying the same things over and over again, in my opinion. It just never ceases to blow my mind how much they can just wrap everything together. Everything is together, whether it's somebody having a birthday party that somehow relates to someone either getting married or polygamy or how polygamy affects us. Crazy how much this stuff is just so intertwined with each other. Like, you can't have a single thing going on without polygamy getting involved. They're not even at a polygamous church right now. Anyway, so Robyn says that she would be interested in polygamy again if there was a guarantee that it would be successful. And it's like, girl, in life, there are zero guarantees. I think you know that. You should. I mean, you've been divorced before. You've been through a lot of divorce before, not only with your own first marriage, but all of Kody's divorces. I mean, nothing is guaranteed. You should know that. I feel like she just says that to say it, because I don't think Robyn at this point in her life would want to share Kody. Because think about it. If he were to bring in another wife right now, especially if she's younger and stuff, like, he'd probably have a couple of kiddos with the new wife, and he loves kiddos. So then he would be over at the new wife's house. Maybe they would be soulmates and whatever. And then Robyn is now Janelle, Meri, and Christine. And I just don't think she wants that for herself or her kids. I think she'll be so sad. If Kody were to actually do that, I think she would be devastated, sobbing up a storm, just like her. Christine and her girls are now going wedding dress shopping, and she has a custom dress that the girl designed using 5 dresses. Not much to say about that. I mean, obviously, Christine's dress is not Brook or mine's favorite from the wedding dress recap episode that we did, but I will say the fact that Christine looks so happy in this dress makes this dress look amazing on her. I like it a lot better in the salon for some reason than I did on the wedding day. So maybe I'm just missing something or I'm misremembering something, but she did look good. I will say that she did look good. I loved her in that first dress that she tried on, but the fact that Christine was just so over the moon happy, that's really what matters. I will take that L for Christine. She talks about her original dress and how she was excited to pick out the pattern and how her mom made it. I thought that was so cute. She doesn't seem to regret the dress at all. She loves that her mom made it. Then she cut it up. And they show a flashback of Christine trying on the dress and Kody like pulling her in. What, you got this dress on that's too big for you? And I guess it was bittersweet for Christine because he was seeing her in the dress for the last time and they were on good terms. Christine can talk about the good times. And I think that's the part that Kody misses, is that Janelle and Christine do talk about good times as well. He misses that point, that they do that. He thinks that they're only out here talking crap about him. And that's just not the case. It's like he doesn't appreciate the small, few and far between good things that they say about him. Kody has been a little bit nicer towards Christine this season, even though he's still not happy with her. He's definitely nicer towards her. I mean, even there's one point in the episode where he wishes that she has a beautiful wedding and a big wedding and that she gets all that she deserves. And, like, that's really nice for Kody. I mean, knife in the kidney.
Just the knife in the kidneys over all these years.
Teflon Queen.
You lie. That's the reason I call you the Teflon Queen.
Need I say more? It ain't all beer and Skittles.
It ain't all beer and Skittles.
With Christine's dress situation, this is all the last thing I have to say on it, honestly, is that it just kind of sucks that we already knew what her dress looked like in a way, because I wasn't super shocked to see it or super duper excited. I was like happy to see her happy and to see her just having a day with her girls. You know, Christine's day with her girls and Robyn's day with her girls are two totally different things right now. Meri's having a housewarming party in conjunction with Christine and David having a wedding shower. So they're all getting ready for that in tangent and just, kind of hops back and forth between them getting ready. And there's not much to say there. The only thing that happens in those scenes is Isabel reflecting on who's more bossy between Aspen and McKelty, and it's McKelty. And Meri and her friends talking about her possibly changing her name to Davenport, which is apparently one of her great grandma's last names or something. So it's not even her maiden name because she says she won't go back to her maiden name, but she also doesn't really know if she should remain a Brown. But in the same breath as well, she doesn't plan on staying single forever. So Meri's got a lot to think about, but she keeps going back and forth. Her friends do want her to change her name. So we'll see. I haven't seen it happen yet. It still says Brown on Instagram as far as I'm concerned. Now we go over to Robyn, who is taking her girls to the church service, and they're going there with baked goods. They are all done up, ready to go. Kody's following them out there, saying bye, that he loves them. And it's just like, man, it sucks that you aren't like this with all of your kids right now. It's just, okay, it's hard to watch sometimes. It's nice for Robyn and her kids and everything, but then I also feel bad for the other kids who are not having a relationship with their dad, and just knowing what's going to happen later in the season and everything. It's just really sad to me. But speaking of the kids, this is when Kody starts to talk about when he realized that it was harder to parent in polygamy because he was always going back and forth between the kids' houses every, I don't know, like 6 days or so. You would see everybody's kids. And he says for the one night he's there. So that makes me think he's not there every night. He's confusing me because in the clip, Christine says, Aspen said, haven't seen him in 6 days. It's really hard. And mind you, they were very much together. So Christine has no reason to try to make him look bad or anything. In fact, they're trying to prove polygamy works. So why would Christine be trying to make him look bad? And then he's saying in this clip, I'd be gone for a few days at a time, and then I'd be home for one night. And then the wife wants me to herself because I've been gone all this time. It's just been her and the kids. So I don't really get to spend much time with the kids. And it's like, damn, so these kids really did suffer, according to you, and now you're not trying to build that relationship with them when you have all the time in the world to do so. Just kind of makes me, I don't know, just does not impress me at all. Just food for thought. So Robyn talks about the feedback she's been hearing against her, and she feels gaslit. Girl, if you've been watching the last few seasons, it's not the feedback you've been hearing, it's the stuff you've been seeing. It's not been a secret what people say or what people really feel about you as of now in the family. Brook hates this word gaslit, so I guess it's probably good that she's not here for this episode recap. But I kind of think it's annoying that Robyn is saying this word because you can't discount how other people feel. You feel your way and your feelings are valid. Then that same way, your stepkids, I guess now, your kids, your stepkids, whatever you want to call them, Janelle's kids, Christine's kids, whatever, your stepkids, at least bare minimum legally, you can't discount how they're feeling either. Everybody's feelings are equal. Just how you perceive things is how you perceived it. Maybe that's your reality. Perception is reality. So maybe how you and Kody are perceiving things, that is your reality. I mean, it's got to be for y'all to be standing by it so hard. But same thing with these kids. Same thing with the other wives. But it seems like a lot of them share a perspective, or at least commonly. Maybe not the details, but I don't know. I will say Sister Wives is quite interesting. Kody then decides to tell us that there is a natural jealousy towards Robyn. I guess because she's the last wife, which I'm sure that there is, but there wouldn't be as much if you were delegating your time properly according to the wives. What is your guys' opinions on the way Robyn came in? Do you think there was a natural jealousy there just because she was the fourth wife coming in? Or do you think maybe he's just trying to say that to excuse how they feel and not make it because of his actions and how he was going over there all the time, or how he was treating her, how he was maybe responding to her, maybe how he was even looking at her in front of them, or how he treated her in front of them? I don't know. So Robyn says she was bending over backwards to help Kody have good relationships with his wives. Okay. I don't know. I don't remember seeing that happen. Maybe Meri. If she means Meri, for sure. She's definitely bent over backwards to try to make Kody hang out with Meri, hold hands with Meri. She tried walking with them and making Kody stand in the center, trying to walk off in the distance. She really did try to save Kody and Meri's marriage at the end more than they were. Which, if the only person in your marriage that's trying is somebody who's not in your marriage, I think your marriage is dead. But that's the only time I've seen Robyn bending over backwards. If anybody else can point to a time, let me know, especially for Janelle or Christine. If y'all can point to a time when Robyn helped out Janelle or Christine in that way, let me know. But I don't truly recall. Other than maybe her in a confessional with all of them when they used to do the group confessional. She might have stood with one of them at one point, but I don't know if that really counts for me. It's all just conversation on a confessional couch. It's not like bending over backwards like you ain't doing nothing. Meri thinks that it's weird living in the house that she was accused of having an escape plan with, which when Meri did buy this house, everybody was worried that Meri was leaving the family. Almost everybody. Even some of the kids, I think, were worried that Meri was leaving the family. In a funny way, Meri relates that to the legal divorce. And I'm like, damn, Meri, you do get it now. I don't know when these confessionals were all filmed, but in this one, Meri is just like, yep, I see it as this now. Whereas when you're seeing Meri in real time in the scenes, she is on the fence still. Like, still wants to say good things about Kody and Robyn. She's asking questions now, like, do you think? You guys really think this? It makes me feel bad for Meri because it's like she can't even trust her gut that something's a little off here. She's got to ask all these opinions because she's been told what to think, I think, for so long, or how things should be. I do agree with her that Kody used the legal divorce as an escape. I think it was pretty apparent. In fact, we do talk at length about it in the little special we did. So I will put it right here for y'all. But I do agree with her because he slowly then trickled out of their lives. I think this is my conspiracy theory. This is not based in any fact. I do not know the Browns, nor have I ever spoken with a Brown. But I think that Kody, in conjunction with the legal divorce, I think he realized that his kids were getting older. So I think he started using the legal divorce, even though he wasn't the one to bring it up. But I think once it was out there, and it was ready to go, he jumped on it because these kids are getting older. So if I'm going to pair up with another wife, it might be around now. I think maybe COVID saved him in ways because then it was the best excuse to stay over at Robyn's house and then have everything fall apart, because otherwise it might have got real ugly between everybody if they had to fight all the time and just not get along. And then I don't know. They just weren't making solid moves to stay together. So it's just interesting. Everything fell apart at the same time that the kids got old enough to where they're at least adults now, most of them. There's only a few young kids. There's 3 kids under 18 right now. All of them are 18 and above. So it's affecting less children. And now he's able to be with who he wants to be with. I don't know. That's just my conspiracy theory. I don't know if Robyn's in on it or not either. It's just my conspiracy. Anyway, so the girls tell Kody how emotional things were in church. Little baby sobbing Robins. These girls are so sad all the time. It's hard to watch them. But the oldest sobbin, the identical to Robyn, literally, she is Robyn's reincarnation sobbin. She cried about everything. She cried about people who were warming up. She was just so excited and happy to be in a community of people. And I don't have much to say about the church stuff. It's just the way these kids are just so emotional about everything. It's just so interesting because they just are little Robins. So funny to me. And Kody's like, wow, that got you emotional. And this is where he talks about how he couldn't be close with his kids as much. And it's like, man, the way you're close with these kids, it's just sad to see you're sitting there right on the porch talking with them about going to church, and you're so involved with what church that they pick and all this stuff. You want them all of a sudden to go to an LDS church, but at the same time, you say in a different scene how you wonder if God had this whole plan for you to show how horrible polygamy is and how people should not practice polygamy because it just doesn't work or something like that, even though you were on a mission to show that polygamy works. He's always contradicting. It's hard to keep up with his thought process. He didn't realize that plural marriage was going to do this with him and his kids. Like, he did not realize that it was going to make him a crappy parent to some of these kids. And it's like, sir, who in their right mind would think having multiple kids with multiple different women, you're going to produce close relationships with every single one of them, especially if you're not spending equal time with them. That's the one thing about the nuclear family is at least you're in the house all day, every day, 7 days a week, 24/7 kind of thing. But you're in these scenes talking about being at Christine's once every 6 days or so. And not impressed. Kody says he's going to be more careful about his opinions. I guess we'll see about that. But Christine and David are now going to have their wedding shower. She's dolled up in this little flapper dress. She's doing her little spins and tassels and stuff like that. I don't have much to say about this shower. It was cute. It was nice to see them all together. It's interesting seeing Peyton and Gwendolyn in the same room. I hear they don't get along. I don't know if that's true for sure. Someone let me know. But it's nice to see that Janelle really, really likes David. She is coming to all these events. She's being super supportive. It's fast, as everyone keeps saying. It's fast, but we all love David and we all love Christine. My scene is that the wedding's 2 days away in the next preview, so I'm really glad that we're gonna actually get into them post-wedding because we have just seen so much wedding stuff, and we already seen the wedding special. I'm good on wedding stuff at this point, so I'm ready. I'm ready for that episode after, and not in a bad way. It is nice to see some of this stuff, especially the part where they talk about the luggage rack. So Christine and David are filling out this little survey thing, and whatever they pick for the answers is what is going to be the right answers for people to win a prize. And they're sitting together, even though it's funny because David is filling it out by himself first, and then Christine finds him, and then they have this whole exchange, and they talk about cheating and how she likes to cheat sometimes, like games or quizzes or things like that, and how he always plays fair. But they go sit off in their little couples chairs, and Janelle comes up. She's like, I'm not cheating or anything. It's just that I seen this question about what you love the most about him, and I just thought about the luggage rack. And Christine started laughing, and apparently Kody, when he goes on vacation or on honeymoons or whatever, he takes the luggage rack. And I'm sitting over here like, what the hell is the luggage rack? Am I not staying at the right hotels, or am I just stupid? I've never knew about a luggage rack. I had to Google it. Apparently they're there. I didn't know. I've always put my stuff on the floor. I'm like, what the hell is a luggage rack? But apparently, besides the point, Kody apparently uses the luggage rack and makes a lady sit on the floor. And I'm like, you guys should have known that. Come on. That is so Kody. That is so Kody. I am not surprised at all. Still unimpressed, but definitely not surprised. But they had a good little chuckle out of it. The only time we see Kate David in a confessional for the last several episodes, I think. He's just like, I mean, the lady gets the luggage rack. That's just how it works. It's how you be a gentleman. And then Cody's just like, now that we're divorced and everything, and we're broken up, now once you break up, every little thing that you do gets brought up and picked over, basically. And the luggage rack is just one of those petty things to complain about. Okay, I can give him like a half a point there. I can see that because when you break up, you kind of start complaining about stuff more than you did, especially maybe something you didn't exactly complain about a lot when you were together, or it's just those little petty things. For me, one of my exes didn't like it when I used straws. I'm serious, straws. So if you go to a fast food place and you get a drink with a straw, yeah, he didn't like me using a straw. I'd have to like take the lid off and drink it. And it's such a strange request to make of somebody all the time. But when I was in it, I was like, okay, but now I'm broken up with him and I've been broken up with him. It's something that I like joke about anyway. So I could see that. But at the same time, you should be a gentleman and just let your wives use the luggage rack. I think you'll be fine. Why do you need the luggage rack? How did you even know it was there? Because I didn't know it was there. How does Kody know it's there? I don't know. Maybe older people just have themselves more together than me. They probably do. People older than me definitely have their lives more together than me. And I'm sure they know about the luggage rack. Brook probably even knows about the luggage rack. So, Brook, if you see this, comment and let me know if you know about the luggage rack, or let me know in our next recap that we do together. Especially since you're on vacation right now. Was there a luggage rack at your vacation? Was there? Anyways, Kody said that him and Christine definitely started off on the wrong foot because he had this 1,000-yard stare. He wasn't excited to be there. His dad didn't even think it was important to be there. And he says that they did start on the wrong foot because of that. But he did say that eventually they did find their sweet spot. And it's like, okay, then stop saying you never loved these people. For God's sakes, I'm so sick of him. You guys know I'm sick of him. It's basically where we leave off the episode. David and Christine had a really good wedding shower. Kody is wishing Christine well, and he hopes that she has a really nice big wedding. And she does. So anyways, for next time, we got the wedding coming up in 2 days. Thank goodness. Meri talks about Kody saying that she was horrible for 20 years. And he was so offended by the catfish. And I was like, okay, sir, whatever. I can't wait to see these scenes. I know it's just going to be a lot of rehashing, but I'm curious to know the examples and why Meri and Kody are still continuously talking about their marriage that is dead and done with. Let's move on. Robyn asks if Janelle is interested, and that just blows my mind because it's like, Robyn, you just got this brand new ring from Kody, right? A real stunner here. Did he get the same one for Janelle? I'm pretty sure you know at this point you guys are monogamous. Stop playing games with me, Robyn. But Kody reassures Robyn that Janelle is in fact done, and she, for word, has said that she is in fact done. So he asks if she will accept him as monogamous, and that's where they leave us off. And it's like, okay, thank you, Chick Chat. It's just me today, but thank you for getting through this with me. Remember to like, subscribe, share, click the share button, copy the link if you don't want to actually share. That does also help us. And definitely interact with us in the comments. Let us know what you think. Reduce, reuse, recycle, Rihanna, and goodbye. And next time, Brook will be with me. Bye.